All right, hello everybody. Welcome to the Random Guys podcast. This is me, Arachnophobia, and Three Eagle. And today we're going to be talking about Thor: Love and Thunder, the newest Marvel Studios movie directed by Taika Waititi. This movie, I'm just going to pass on to Eagle for our first initial thoughts of it. So yeah, Eagle, you could just talk about your
Um,
initial thoughts for it right
the
now.
movie was definitely a movie. It was
Yeah, I agree.
it was a movie. It had its flaws and had its ups and downs. It was more of a rom-com, which means romance comedy
Yeah, yeah,
between
yeah.
Jane and Thor. Oh, this is a spoiler review. So
It's spoiler
yeah,
review.
click off if you don't want spoilers. But this
Yep.
this is- this contains spoilers. Uh, it's a romance comedy, which is very different from Thor, since he's more of a kind of serious character.
They like totally changed his character throughout his
Yeah,
four-movie run. It's crazy.
because Taika could have very easily delved deep more into Thor's tragedy with I mean, both his parents dying, his brother
Yeah.
dying, and and
Kind of
and
poke
and,
fun at it,
and
honestly.
yeah, it did. They Taika didn't really like to settle on that. He more liked to crack jokes when it got a lot more serious. Like
Yeah.
for example, uh, actually, when was the time that he liked to crack jokes a lot?
I remember the one part where they're talking about like Loki and Thor's relationship and like how Loki dies and they make like this like goofy play out of it.
Oh
And that one
yeah,
girl shows up from like the comedy shows or whatever, I forgot. That part was
I
kind of funny, but it was like do it on purpose,
I
definitely.
liked the movie because of the comedy, but a lot of people didn't like it because of it, because there's just too much of it.
Yeah.
Because like too much of something cannot be good, but can be good. And in this case, didn't really blend in all that well.
Yeah, definitely. It definitely felt out of character in terms of like a Marvel movie. Like Thor Ragnarok, in my opinion, it was goofy, but it still had a lot of meaning as like, the sister dynamic, and it was done in a way that it was a pretty crazy ending, especially leading into Endgame. And
Yeah,
this one just felt really like I felt like it didn't even need to be made, honestly. Like the only real reason why it needs to be made at all was just because Thor has the child now. But that's pretty much it, in my opinion. Like the whole Jane Foster thing, they could have easily just left it out and like not brought it up ever again. I can see how they totally could have just done that, but they didn't. So
well,
that's just like
As Korg says it, and as also Thor says it, it's a classic Thor adventure. It doesn't
that's true.
exactly have anything to do with the greater MCU besides show like Eternity, Living Tribunal statue, and hinting at other bigger things. But
Yeah.
overall, it doesn't affect the MCU as a whole. Which is
Yeah.
why, like, compared to Ragnarok affected the MCU because, well, when Asgard's destroyed, and now they're going looking for a new place to stay. That
Yeah.
affects it a lot more than this movie because this movie doesn't do much. Although
Yeah.
it
I
does
didn't feel
lead
like
up for like a sequel with Hercules, but even then, that's not very big.
that's like a post credit. That's not even a part of the real story, honestly. But like but like yeah, it's just like I feel like a lot of Thor is like a lot of like the trauma and stuff that he went through like Ragnarok and even just his past movies, like especially leading up to this one, this being an official Thor movie, it just feels like that like there wasn't much substance. Like I saw another thing that said like he lost his mom, he lost his brother, he lost his freaking eye, he lost his axe, but like through it all, he just like gets it back. Like it's just like his axe gets repaired. So it's like, what was the point of his hammer breaking in the first place? It just felt like all these things just like came back to him. And it was all like happily ever after, but it was done in like this really goofy way, which I feel like it didn't really feel like it was like deserving of that, especially from like what Ragnarok brought. I feel like, and still goofy stuff's like okay, and also some of the comedy didn't land in my opinion. Like a a good chunk of it was pretty funny, I'd say, but there's some stuff that like definitely didn't land for me. Like the whole goats thing, like that was funny in the
That's still pretty
beginning,
funny.
but then when I thought about it, I'm like, we're not in 2000s anymore. Like freaking goat home videos. I'm like, oh my god, dude. It's like,
Goat
okay.
home video.
It was interesting, but
I did like the
yeah,
goats. They were pretty funny.
they were pretty funny, but then they freaking blared on screen every like 5 minutes, and I was like, oh my god, just shut up. It's like,
Hmm.
oh, what? Like, I don't know. It just didn't feel like, I don't know. Like, I feel like Taika definitely did better at Ragnarok, and this one was okay though. It felt more of just like a feel good Marvel movie, which I feel like we haven't got like that in a while, honestly, from the MCU. So I thought it
Yeah,
was like interesting in that sense. Like, yeah, but like if I had to say like the good stuff of this movie, I'd have to say it had that classic like kind of home good like Marvel comedy feel, definitely now and then, which is always a little sprinkle. That's always good. I think this movie really hammered it home though, not in a good way, but like maybe just a little less because usually you need some of that charm in the movie. So that part was kind of good. And I thought the casting was pretty good too. All the characters all were pretty cool. Christian Bale as Gore. I didn't even know who Gore was, but he did a pretty good job, I think,
I do
as
think they
Gore.
underutilized Gore because if you actually see
Definitely.
how long he is in the movie, it's not that long. He
Yeah.
does not get very
Uh,
much screen time, which
yeah, I'm
is
gonna
kind of
mention.
sad that that happens because he's the villain of the movie, and he
Yeah,
has such a
I feel
good,
like
powerful motivation
I guess, but what was the motivation again?
to kill.
Like,
So what happened
oh,
is
like his
it
daughter
gets
died,
really
right?
done really well in the first, like the opening scene of the movie where his
Yeah,
daughter
yeah,
dies, his, like everyone that he knows dies, and he prays to
yeah,
his god that his god will help him. But in the end, the gods just think of him as a joke, and Gore realizes that the gods aren't gonna do anything, so I'm gonna kill all of them. And then
yeah.
slashy slashy.
That's pretty cool too. But I feel like they also even underutilize like how gods don't even like help their people anymore. Like they even made fun out of that. It's like, dude, that's kind of supposed to be like kind of sad. Like it's like okay, kind of interesting. But like, so I thought the comedy was good too. Like the acting was good. Performances were pretty good. I thought Jane Foster was actually pretty cool inclusion in this movie. I thought she did a good job.
Yeah.
She was pretty funny now and then. I
Although
feel like they didn't need.
they could have played more into the cancer thing. Could have been a lot more
Yeah,
deeper of an
that was really
undertone.
vague. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. It was just like, oh yeah, she in like has cancer and then she's gonna die. So just like it didn't feel that emotional, honestly. But then again, like Jane, we haven't even seen Jane in the MCU in like forever. Like she kind of just died with like the original Marvel movies, like Iron Man 3 and Thor 2 and everything. Like they haven't really brought her up since then. So like
Yeah.
I don't know. It wasn't that emotional of like a death or anything. It felt like more of like just like a peaceful send off to her, I guess, as a character.
But I do think she would probably be back.
Yeah, my God, they're gonna bring
Because in
back
the
every character.
comics, this is where nerdy evil comes in. In the comics, after she's
Oh
done,
God, save me.
after her cancer, she survived from her cancer, she becomes Valkyrie. So
Was she
they could.
Valkyrie in the movie? Like her like self?
No, she was the Mighty Thor because that happens. She gets cancer and
Mighty Thor.
becomes worthy of Mjolnir. And then after she's done with her cancer and Thor, she becomes Valkyrie.
Is that the comic?
Yep,
It's like Mighty Thor from the comics.
Mighty Thor from the comics were written by Jason Aaron. He did the run.
Dang, you know all about the comics. I knew the
Well,
author.
I personally really like Jason Aaron. I think he's a really good
What else does he
comic
write?
writer.
Like,
Well, he wrote the Thor ones,
mhm,
and then he also wrote the Jane Foster Thor run, a little bit
yeah,
of the Valkyrie one sometimes, not really, and then the
uh-huh.
current one he's writing is the new Avengers comics.
And, how many times are they gonna reboot Avengers? Oh my God, dude.
Well, they have to have new runs, new stories, new stuff.
That's true. That's like the problem with superhero movies, especially in like Thor as well. Kind of circling back, a lot of it just feels like the same, except just a reskin. But it's kind of hard to diversify it and really make it stand out. Like I always try to like think as like kind of the highest grail of superhero movies in terms of like a cinematic universe is The Dark Knight, which also had Christian Bale's Batman. I think that was probably one of the few perfect superhero movies. And I feel like just ever since like kind of like that, like the Joker as a villain and stuff, just like showing like how a villain could be. Like it makes Gore look sad. Like you could really tell how like just Gore is like super underutilized. Like he doesn't even seem like a threat. Like it's just like he's kind of just there.
Well, they
And it's
play
like
they play him up as a threat, except they don't use any of that. Like
yeah, and
When
even the
Zeus
children.
says like, yeah, he has the necrosword, he can kill us. There's not a lot of emphasis on the worry impact of it. It's just
Yeah,
they speak about it and nothing really happens.
like even the children, like when they're caught in the cage, like they're not even scared. Like they're just like fine after a while. Like once they see Thor, like just come to them through like his like little dream world thing. I don't know. Like he's like they're fine. It's
Yeah.
like so if the children are even scared, man, and these little children could beat Gore like in the last scene, like with his power, like they could still beat him. Then like, dude, this
Well,
guy's not even a threat.
to be fair, they, all the children have they have the power of Thor, and
But they
so
don't have like the physical strength, right? Like they're still kids.
no.
They just have their
Remember
power, right?
Thor gives them like the enchantment for limited time only. These kids will have the power of Thor,
Limited time
and
only
so they
offer.
get so they get the power of Thor.
Oh dang. Oh okay. Well yeah. No wonder why they freaking all died. Bro, that was sad. And like, what's the inclusion of Gore's daughter? Like, is she another like comic character? Because like,
Um, um, no. Well, yes. In the comics, the daughter thing, I think I'm pretty sure does happen.
hmm
I'm not 100%, but the whole thing with like eternity and then his daughter resurrecting does not happen. But a little comic Easter egg fun here is when Korg says like when he narrates like the end of how Thor is like kind of like adopting
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Love, Gore's daughter. Korg says Gore's daughter is made from eternity, called, and then at the end they call it Love and Thunder. What happens in the comics is actually eternity does get reborn as an entity called Love, which I could see them hinting at in this movie, calling Gore's daughter Love, and saying Corey literally saying made from eternity. So that's
Oh,
why it's
what's
like, yes,
eternity?
eternity is, you mean in the movie or like the comics?
Just like in the movie, I guess. Like
In the movie,
in terms of
remember
the movie.
it's like the entity where you get to it first. You can
Oh, like that,
you
like
can,
guy who's like sitting there, like Master Wu position, dude. Like the guy who looks like
yeah,
the Watcher.
yeah.
I thought he was the
Pretty,
Watcher actually,
no, the Watcher has a
because he had
big
like
head.
I thought he had like that head formation. Yeah, I thought his head was big. I don't know if that I
No,
may have forgotten,
the
but like
eternity looks like a mask on one side of his, kind of like Phantom of the Opera style, a little bit.
yeah, that's pretty cool though. I mean, like his like the I like how like it's just space. Like it looks cool. It's almost like a
Yeah,
silhouette.
because
Kind of creepy.
eternity is kind of like the embodiment of space.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I mean, just yeah, I think that's pretty cool. But like the in terms of that, I think that's probably like I would say that's the good stuff, but I feel like we've been talking more like crap on it, honestly.
Yeah, I personally
So
really
like
liked the humor of the movie. I thought it was very
yeah,
funny.
I thought like three quarters of it were good, and the other quarter kind of sucked. That's how I'd say it was. Because sometimes it's like, but other times it's like, most of the time it was pretty funny. And I think the action was also pretty good. How little of it there kind of was, the more I think about it, it was actually pretty good. Like, the whole part with Zeus, like, that whole part with Zeus felt really long.
It kind of, I guess, in comparing to the other scenes, I could see that.
Yeah, so like, kind of like in that more romantic comedy vein. And I like when Marvel tries new stuff out, even if it doesn't really land a lot of the time. I still like when they try new stuff out.
Yeah.
But still, it's like, I don't know. I feel like the strong suit's still kind of like that action comedy thing. I'm just interested how Marvel's gonna handle Deadpool because I feel like they're gonna do this really janky thing. I hope it's not like
No,
Thor.
no, Marvel is keeping, I think, everybody there. It's gonna still have that R rating.
Oh, Deadpool's gonna be R? Like under
Well,
Disney? Under
well, they
Disney, I
could
mean?
make it under the Fox name, so that's
Oh,
why.
that's true. Well, Disney let them do that though, because doesn't Disney own like everything?
Disney owned Fox, but they can put in
But they own
R
Marvel Studios,
ratings
right?
since yeah, or they could do a PG-13,
No, I hope they
but
don't. It's
but
kind of,
kind of be like
oh my god.
because you know how in Deadpool 2 there was a PG-13 version that came out.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
It could be like that, but I did hear that they are keeping the R rating on the film. And the cool
Okay.
thing I
Yeah,
did hear about Deadpool 2 is it's like a fish out of water movie because,
what do you mean?
well, because Deadpool
Deadpool
is,
2?
yeah, no, Deadpool 3.
Oh, okay.
Because Deadpool is changing universes. He was in the Fox universe and now he's in the MCU.
Uh-huh.
So that's like a whole new universe. That'd be
Are they
pretty
gonna
cool.
start kind of like that, like rated R, kind of like anti-hero, kind of like
Probably
grim, kind
not.
of like story
Deadpool,
thing,
I think, would be like the only
like crude humor kind of
exception.
thing? Oh, really? I mean, that'd be kind of funny, like kind of like a boys style MCU thing. Like that'd be kind of
I
interesting.
don't think so, since the MCU as a whole is built on, yeah, hey, you could take your kids here, because, yeah,
That is true.
Deadpool
That's
has
the
already
whole
been built
incentive.
upon. We're like, no, just adults, no kids.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah,
So
like
that's why.
if they try to censor it, it's, oh my god, I'd be kind of mad because
But
like
also, I
that's not
did
his
hear
character.
in
That's not him.
relation to Thor, Chris Hemsworth, the actor for Thor, would want a cameo in Deadpool 3.
Like as Thor, like
Yeah, as Thor, he would like want to be in Deadpool 3. He did say that, which would be
what?
pretty funny seeing Thor and Deadpool talk about stuff. That would
Nah,
be
they wouldn't
pretty
do that though.
cool.
I feel like they're
I,
gonna try to
I,
distance the regular MCU, like the 13 universe, away as much as they can from the R universe
well, no,
because
because Deadpool is now is now
PG-13.
is now part of the MCU.
That's true, but like I feel like Disney's still not gonna want them to like cross over because I know they're really strict about their IP usage. Like the farthest they've gotten to like the violence, in my opinion, is like Doctor Strange and like that one scene in the Captain America show with Falcon where like he
Yeah.
beats that guy with the shield, and like that's the farthest they've gone. And even that was like pretty little, like compared to other stuff. So
So let's see.
I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. But if
But
Thor
but
if Thor
anyway,
makes a cameo, I
that would be really funny. I
hope we
like that
talk
because
about it.
Thor is my favorite Avenger, so he's pretty cool.
Thor, really? I'd say
Thor's
Spider
amazing.
Man, but I don't know if he's an official Avenger because I just love Spider Man. So
But anyway,
Spider Man's
we
my favorite.
are digressing from the subject of
That's true.
Thor.
Okay, should we close up with the Crescent
Like
Fresh
a
rating right here?
Crescent Fresh rating. Yes.
Okay, I'll give my pick first. Out of a
Okay.
10 Crescent Fresh scale, I give this movie a 6 out of 10.
A 6 out of 10. Okay.
I think that the villain was really underutilized. The humor was good, but other times it didn't land. The characters were fun, but overall the full experience didn't feel like it really had any weight. And just kind of
I
felt a little hollow. It felt more of just like a fun, feel good adventure, but that nothing more than that. And honestly, we've had like a few of that from Marvel, and it's getting kind of cliche, kind of boring at this
yeah.
point. So yeah, I feel like a 6 out of 10,
I
maybe
I
even a
def
5, but probably a 6 because there were still parts I liked about it.
I definitely think it's not the worst MC movie. I still
Oh yeah,
think there are
Thor: The
movies that
Dark
are
World's the worst. The other Thor
yeah.
movie.
I do think there are other movies that are worse than this.
They
So
really trashed on Thor in the MCU.
I give it a 7.5 out of 10.
A 7.5?
The
Really?
reason the reason I like
6.
well, it could be because I have a little bit of a bias towards Thor. I just love Thor. He's amazing. But I saw where they were going. They kind of fumbled a little bit, but
Yeah, I definitely
overall,
agree.
since I definitely got like all the Marvel Easter eggs they were throwing, I
I
really did
didn't because
appreciate. I really appreciated that. Like the scene with all the gods, you can recognize some of them, which was really cool.
yeah.
Well, I'll give it like a
So
7 to 7.5.
seven,
Like
7.5. Really?
or
Okay.
how about me in
I
the
know,
middle
but
at 7.25?
no, we're not gonna do like that. No, that's crazy. I usually just give like block ratings, like 7, 6,
Then
because
I'll just say
but
at that 7.
like this is what I'd say. It's like a concept and a finished product are very different. Like a concept could be good in theory, but what you get is what you base it off of. So in that sense, I'd give it a 6 out of 10 because, like you said, it's a good concept, but I don't think it was executed right. And in the end, the execution is what matters because that's what you're watching. So
But I feel
that's
like
why I
6, in my
justify six
opinion,
out of
would
ten.
be kind of harsh. Like when I see a bad MC movie, I rate it a 6. Like Iron Man 3, in my opinion, that's like a 6. I don't think Thor is as low as that movie. I think it's
Yeah,
better,
but
but it doesn't deserve like that same kind of rating.
that's why I give those movies that like
It's like
a lot lower
comparing
score.
um what's a good analogy? It's like
I'm not giving like
comparing
terms off of like the MCU. This is just general like consensus. Like not based off MCU movies. Like this is just like I didn't think it was that great. Like not say it was bad, but not say it was good. I'd say it's like pretty mid. That's why
I
I give it a
liked
six
it.
out of ten because I think it was pretty mid.
I liked it as a classic Thor adventure.
Yeah, oh, I see in that. Okay, so
That's why I give it
mutual
like a 7.
7 out of 10. I don't know because like there's some movies that are 8 out of 10 for me that are really good. Like recently I saw Elvis. I give that an 8 out of 10, and I think that movie was way better than Thor. So that's why I'm giving Thor like a 6 out of 10 because I don't know, 7 seems like kind of kind of like you're giving it to I don't know. I don't think it's that deserving. But if you want to do a mutual score, because are we gonna do
Or how about I
two
give it,
separate scores, or are we gonna do all the same score?
we're gonna like combine it into one.
Combine it.
Or
Okay,
how about, can I give
I
it like
give
a
it.
decimal score?
Nah, I think we should. I think as a mutual thing, we should give it like a 60. Should we do this like Moist Critical style, like 65%, or like a 6 out of 10 thing?
We could do percent. We can give this one a percentage.
Okay,
Most
I
likely.
think I'd say 65 then. Maybe
And
not 70, but 65.
in terms of percentage, um, I'll give it like a 67%.
67? Really?
That's
I
only
don't want to make our viewers do the
that's
math though.
only 2% more than what you had.
Okay, 67%. That sounds good. I think I could agree with
60,
that. So
67.
67%. We both give this movie a 67% score on the Crescent Fresh meter.
So
And yep,
it's
that
like a
is our
66% actually in the middle because you had 65, I had 67. So it's like
okay, so
66.
66%. So sorry, finalized 66%. That is our review. We will put that down as a fully 66% movie. So that is our personal thoughts of the new Thor Love and Thunder movie. What did you guys think of it? Put your thoughts and comments in the description to see how you guys felt about the movie. We'd love to see like your own personal views of it, definitely, because this is a very interesting movie. Definitely very heated debate on the score, as you can see for like the past like 2 minutes. But like, yeah, but
Yes.
66 is our last one. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you guys in the next one. Anything you want to say, Bishop?
No, that's about it. Uh,
That it?
yeah.
All
So
right.
see you in the next
Thank you guys
video.
for watching. All right. Bye.
Bye.